In early August last year, I made a video of putting a trailer hitch on my Harley. Well, about mid-month of that same month, August last year, bought this trailer from Harbor Freight. Hi, welcome to Dave's Corner of the World. Have a great day. I didn't have any floor in it. Right now I got expanded metal floor in it. I put that in just a few days ago. Put it in with big fender washers and self-tapping screws. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10 of them. 10 fender washers and 10 screws. It holds it in there really nice. I'm really happy with that. But what I need to do now, I want to put a rack exactly the same height as my fender. I've got all the pieces cut. I'll have to do a little bit of trimming on them, but I've got all the pieces cut. That one didn't go there. That one goes here, and this one goes up here. They fit closer than that, I promise. These pieces are going to be the legs to hold it up in the air. Something like that. I'm going to have 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And that's what I plan on doing in the next couple of days. So we'll just see how it turns out. I'm not going to bore you with cutting these. I'll put a link up in the upper corner of the video on how I made the trailer hitch last year. And this is how this was explained in that. So I need to make 4 of these just like that, weld them up, drill holes in them, put them 1 right here, 1 there, 2 up front. Okay, that's going to be what I'm going to do now. And we'll see where I get to. Well, here's where we left off the other day. I got all 4 of these made. That's all I did. But they turned out okay. Back here is on the back side. It's going to be bolted up. I didn't care too much about that, but the rest of it looks okay. I got all 4 of those done. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this rack together, hopefully all the way around. But to start, I'm going to put just 2 of them, these 2 together right here. Grind off down here, make them all where they'll weld real good. I've got a jig over on the table, I'll show you that in a minute, that will put this together absolutely, totally square. That way I'll be able to weld it up and know it's correct. And then I'll do those 2 pieces. And I'll set them in here, and if they're too long or too short, if they're too long I can grind them off a little bit. If they're too short, I'll just be able to weld a little bit right on the edge to where, you know, we can lengthen one out, do whatever we need to do. Then of course, if you remember, going to raise them up exactly the same height as the fender. Could put a couple of bolts through here. That'll give this fender a whole lot more stability. Plus, I think it'll make the trailer look better. I was going to set them way up here, 6 inches, but I decided against that. I think it'll look better right there. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to grind these corners down right here. Make sure they fit real good, and grind them down so I can put a little bit of weld inside there, and it'll be almost 100% weld. So that's the object to this game. Now I've got all the pieces beveled back a whole lot. So when I weld it, I can get weld all inside there. That should work just fine. Wrong gloves. These are just cloth, and the sparks go right on through them, and they'll ruin the gloves real quick, and if it catches on fire, it'll burn me real bad. So I'm going back to my leather gloves. These are not welding gloves, but I don't do enough welding to need welding gloves. That's looking pretty close. I'm up a little bit high here. That one looks pretty good, but I'm up a little bit high here. So I just tap it down. If it's not right, my trailer rack is going to be racked like that. I don't want that. That is just pretty darn close. The one side needs to come in. I think it's that side there. So I'll just go down on the end and just tap it in. Even though it's clamped right here, okay, that is good enough. Alrighty, get the old Harbor Freight welder out here. Turn it on. Give it some tacks. Turn it over and weld out the other side. Just really needs one weld on it. That one, the top, because I got the inside and the outside already. Okay, last one on this piece. Well now, what's going on with my welder? Well, I ran out of welding rod. Well, I kind of skipped ahead. I've got the railing, the two 90 degrees railing welded there. There's one of them, there's a piece that goes over to there, and then it goes up to the front. Now here, I've got to weld that in, tack it really good right where it is. Now I'll put a great big piece of particle board underneath it, so maybe I won't get too much spatter on my trailer. These uprights, you can see they're just clamped in, but that gives you, that shows where it's supposed to go. This one here, I've got that one welded. It's all welded out and made look pretty. Well, pretty enough. And then I'm gonna have to tack this one. Tack it in 3 places, one over here, one up on top, one down there. Tack them pretty good tacks, let them cool, then I'll take them over on the table and go ahead and weld it out. Well, let's get to it.
Alright, that one looks like it's pretty well tacked. Yeah, I think I got it tacked good enough that it won't break now when I move it. I'm going to put a little bit more right here. That's probably more than a tack bit. Okay, I got to put back over here my 90-degree jig. It's just a little bit out right here, up in here, but it fits on the trailer. If it fits on the trailer, it's good enough. Then I'm going to weld it out over here, down there, down there. Do the same on the corner over there. Oh, here we go. Got a little bit of a gap there. I'm going to have to start and stop there a whole bunch, because otherwise it'll just make a great big hole. Well, I might be done welding. Now all I gotta do is just grind and buff this corner out and the corner straight across over there. Then we'll be ready to put the legs on it. Well, we won't be ready to put the legs on it, but we'll be ready to drill the holes for the legs and bolt them onto the trailer. Got just a little bit of undercut right there and a little bit right there. Go ahead and put a couple of passes on there and I'll take care of that. The reason I had that undercut on there was, obviously it was my fault. I don't like to weld, this is only 1/16 inch thick. I don't like to weld anything less than 1/4 inch. This is real thin for me, and I had my welder up a little bit too high to begin with, and I burned through it, and I just don't like to weld anything this small. So anyway, it was all my fault, but we just got to fix it, that's all. Alright, that was with a grinding wheel. That's pretty rough. This is called a flapper disc, I think. And I can't remember, maybe 80 grit or something, I can't remember. So we'll go over it with that for a while. And buff it down a little bit more. Alright, I think that part's about done. Well, let's go see if it'll fit on the trailer. Like a dummy, I did not mark which corner went to where, but theoretically it should be square, so it should fit anywhere. That looks pretty sweet right where it is. All right, I'm happy with that. All I have left to do is take that C-clamp off, drill a hole in it in the leg, on all four legs, bolt them in, get them square. Then I need to lift up my rack up to there, clamp it just so it's flush with the fender, do the same thing on the other side. Then I can mark and cut my legs, then weld them on, then paint it all, and I'll be done. As you can see, I've got the frame pretty well mocked up. Got everything all ground down nice. Still needs to be painted, obviously, but I still got a weld on it. Today what I'm going to do is drill holes in the legs here, right in there, and put a bolt in there. Two of them in the front, and then the two in the back I'm going to have to move over to this hole, which will be all right. You can see that back there like that. Okay, I've already determined, I've already taken a tape measure and measured from here to the center of the hole is 5/8 of an inch. So we will mark and drill all these for 5/8 of an inch from the bottom. I'm just going to eyeball this at 5/8. It's going to be close enough. It's not going to be any machine fit or anything like that. So it's just going to be close enough, I hope. All right, there's one. And 4. Okay, that's a 3/8 hole in the trailer, and I'm going to put a 5/16 bolt in it. That way I'll have a little bit of slack in it, just a little, in case something doesn't go quite right. So I'm going to drill a 5/16 inch hole in here, put a 5/16 inch bolt in it. That way we have just a little bit of room for adjustment, if you will. Some of you might remember that I've got solar on my motorhome. I'm not even plugged into power. You've seen me use the grinder quite a bit in this project. I've used it on completely on solar, and I'm going to use this drill press completely on solar. I just checked a few minutes ago to see how much power it pulled with this amp meter, AC amp meter, and it pulls about 2.1 amps thereabouts, which is kind of high because that's at 120 volts. But if you drop it down to 12 volts, that's 10 times more amperage, so that's 21 amps. So my solar system has to be providing 21 amps at 12 volts, which is what my system is, to keep from depleting my batteries at any one
you know, while it's going on. But throughout the day, I'll be producing. Right now, I'm not producing 21 amps. It's still almost not quite 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know what I'm producing in amps right now, but it's not that much. But throughout the day, I'll take a little bit of battery power, but at the same time, it will replenish that battery power. I am not using the welder. That just takes too much power. I can't possibly do that. That would take about 200 amps out of the batteries. It's about a 20 amp. Actually, I imagine this runs about 19 amps, 18, 19 amps. I have never checked it, but I imagine it runs somewhere between 15 to 19 amps while I'm welding. So that has to be run off of shore power. I use oil every time I use drill press. A little bit of oil really makes a big difference. Okay, one down, 3 to go. Okay, I got my holes in the legs. Next step is to go to Home Depot and get bolts. I haven't done that. So I need to go ahead and do that, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. Well, I just got back from Home Depot. I bought 4 5/16" bolts, 4 nuts, 4 washers, and of course I forgot the lock washer. Well, I don't have many tools because I live in a motorhome, but at the same time I've got a whole lot of tools for somebody who lives in a motorhome. Anyway, I was able to scrounge up 4 5/16" lock washers, and they're going to be pretty necessary. The old trailer gets a lot of bouncing up and down the road, so it needs to be on there pretty secure. I'm quite excited about this build. It's just, you know, not a whole lot, but I think it's going to make the trailer look a whole lot better, and it's going to be not really more functional because I can always tie my load down, but it's just going to work a whole lot better. Okay, for a 5/16" bolt, you need a 1/2 inch wrenches. Put that up there. Make sure it's all square. Now, even though I have a ratchet right here, you want to use your ratchet when you can on the nut on the back. Well, I can't get the ratchet back there, so we'll have to use it this way. That's all right. Make sure that's still square. Good enough. Don't have as much room down here on this one. Yeah, that's working pretty good. What I'm going to do, see, obviously this is way too long. I wanted to make it long rather than short because it's easier to cut it off than it is to weld more to it. I need to make the fenders exactly, I need to make it exactly the right height. I think it's 4 inches from this piece to the top. But I'll make sure the fenders are bolted on absolutely correctly. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the face on this piece here. I'm going to cut the face here, cut it back, and cut it up on both sides. Then I'll take and cut the last leg off, bend it down to where it just makes itself a cap right there. And it's all going to be the same height as this. Then I'll just put some tacks on it, there and there. Pretty good tacks. And unbolt it and take it over on the table and weld it out, paint it, put it back on, and this job will be done. I've already drawn a line back here. I need to cut over here and up and over here and up. I need to mark those. I need to mark that with speed square, which I have right over here. And everything is really, really hot. Can't do that. I should wait until evening to do this, but I don't have time. I need my trailer.
Okay, got them all done. There's one. There's two. There's three. And there's four. As you can see, I came out here last night after dark and welded right there. I did not weld in here or on that side or on the bottom. I'll do that later. But all four pieces are welded, all four legs are welded. The reason I had to do that was I needed my trailer this morning early. So I had to go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I think this looks pretty nice. But I got to thinking this morning, I know how I'm going to make it look really cool. This is okay right here. But at first I wanted it the whole rack above this part. But if I get it too much higher over there, it's going to be hard to get things into the trailer and out of. Like if I have something needs to roll up on there, it won't work real well. So that's as high as I want to go for the back. Now these pieces I am not going to use for the finished project. But I'm going to do something that looks like this. This is about 2.5 inches here. From this point to this point is exactly 3 inches. I'm not sure if I want to go 3 inches or 2.5 inches. That looks pretty good there. But I'm going to do, you know, make all the corners fit and look pretty. But I'm going to do something like that all the way around, clear over to the other side and down like that. I think that's going to be pretty darn sharp. And I'll do that in another video. I'm going to go ahead and weld up the four legs completely, paint it, and be done with this part of the project. So I'm just going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please click subscribe and give me a like. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.